I can tell you why I'm questioning the God of the Bible. Like I've been questioning the God of the Bible for 10 years. No, there's no disrespect to the God of the Bible and all that, but I still have to question it. Why wouldn't we question certain stuff that we have to worship? You know what I mean? Be like, no question, just worship the nigga. Come on. Why do we worship something but we can't question it? I never understood that. This is probably why I got away from worshiping like the God of the Bible. Because I couldn't question anything. And I was so and like basically like me growing up, I became so like thirsty for knowledge to a point where as soon as something stagnated me, I had to run away from it. I won't mind coming back if y'all give me a good reason why I should do it. And I know y'all don't even care if I come back or not, whatever. But y'all say I'm supposed to be a prophet and all that. Hey, well, convince me that that's the way to be. It is what it is. So that's gonna be my topic today, man. And like I said, I'm not gonna debate with anybody. I'm not gonna say you're wrong about anything, unless you are wrong. If you are wrong, then I'm gonna be like, hey, look, you're wrong. Stop spreading this nonsense. But if you're not wrong, but you just sound wrong, I'll just ask more questions. All these podcasters are agreeing with each other all the damn time, you know, and like and that shit get boring. That shit get wild boring, man. Corny. Might as well just have one person on there. You're gonna have 7 people that are saying the same exact thing, man. Come on, like you come on. Think about that. Think about that. Like they're having guests. They're having guests. No disrespect to like I'm not talking about somebody, I'm not talking about a specific person and all that. But there are some of these podcasters that's hitting me up that have the corniest podcast. You know why? Because they have 10 people on that damn podcast saying the same exact thing. Be like, what's the whole point? Y'all just want to have friends? And I guess podcast, I guess that's what a podcast is for, like people to express themselves and all that. But come on, man, make it entertaining. If y'all want to show it off, don't show it off, whatever, like, and expect good feedback. Because I'll tell you this, my shit is still corny. But I'm trying. You know, I'm trying. I'm making sure I be around people that I don't agree with a lot of the times. I want to have topics like that. I want to have topics about how white women are the most oppressed group. I want to have a topic about how gay people are born naturally. I mean, like are born instead of being trained. I want to have topics like that. People want to just stick to surface and all that. They see something and they favoritize certain stuff, whatever, to a point where they want people to favoritize it with them. And I don't even know if that's a fucking word. We can have a debate about that shit too. It is what it is at this point. But all I'm saying is if I have a podcast, I want to make sure it's an intense podcast. I want to make sure it's controversial. I want to make sure the shit just start popping off and all that. I might even just start arguing more. I don't even like arguing and all that. But I mean, I think it spices stuff up sometimes and all that. And plus, I don't get upset about anything. I just feel passionate. I just look passionate about certain stuff. Would you want to talk about him giving us curiosity? Which Satan, well, no, I'm sorry, the serpent actually gave us curiosity, I believe. Was it Satan that gave us curiosity? Or the serpent? Because I don't think God gave us curiosity, because he said like because wouldn't curiosity be a form of like knowledge? That's actually a good question. Hold on. Who gave us curiosity? Was it God or was it the serpent? Because I will believe curiosity is a form of knowledge. And God said, don't eat from the tree of knowledge. But the serpent said, hey, look, eat the shit, nigga. And then Eve, dumbass, gave the shit to the nigga, whatever, the simp ass motherfucker. The next thing you know, we had knowledge. So I guess we was curious about certain stuff. That's why when we started looking at each other, it was like, oh, shit, like, look at your vagina. Oh, look at your dick. I think the serpent actually gave us curiosity. Yes, God got mad at that, but I'd be like, now you're curious about shit? Fuck you, you're punished. So if you want to come on and talk about that or whatever, because I can even argue with that. Even though I'm not gonna argue, this is gonna be just a question and answer situation. So yeah, if y'all do want to come through, man, but that Lotus, I know you were just trolling. But you came up with a good actual topic. Like curiosity. Who gave well no, like you came up with the God gave us curiosity. And then I started questioning, did he? That's like a good ass question though. But anyway, that can come up the moment somebody try to come up and talk about it. And here's another thing. Here's another thing about like worshiping the God of the Bible and all that. So I remember a bunch of bad stuff is happening to me. A bunch of bad stuff. And they said they'll pray for me. God got me and all that. Like God's gonna take care of this. God's gonna take care of that. And then somebody also said God is testing me. And then somebody else said that the devil was testing me. So which one was it? Like when I was going through some crazy stuff, right? Hold on. Yeah, when I was going through some crazy stuff, it was saying that God got me, that he's gonna take care of me. And then they said the devil was testing you, and then they said it was God testing you. And then they said you had to deal with some sort of karma, and then they said it was free will and all that. If it's all these possibilities of what could have happened while I was going through that trauma, what's the whole point in just chucking it to God or whatever if it's everything, like if the whole option is up for grabs, basically? It could be anything. So that's one thing, man. Like I just don't know. I'm just not sure about it. But we always choose when we think God is doing certain stuff. And we choose when the devil's doing certain stuff. Then we choose when it's free will. It's our choice, whatever we do. But yet, whenever something good happens, we want to say it's God. But when that good turned bad, we're going to say it's the devil. I remember a bunch of times where some lady would say, oh, God brought this man into my life. And then as soon as that man be abusive, it was the devil. Now y'all know that's the case. Y'all know that's what happens. Y'all usually praise God when something good comes, but if that good turned bad, you blame the devil. Like y'all didn't even thank God in the first place. Y'all know that's what y'all do. So that's what I'm saying. What's the point? Is it us going into heaven? If that's the case, whatever, that's fine. But how do we know if heaven exists? And there's supposed to be like 144,000 motherfuckers that jump up there. Supposed to hear the trumpet and all that, whatever. Like, so I guess the rest of us is going to hell. And ain't no telling who actually going up. It might be the Jewish people. It might be black people, whatever, because we're the original people. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, ain't no telling what's going to happen within hundreds and hundreds of years. Can I tell you this? You know how many times I heard that it was going to be the end of days? 9/11 hit. It's going to be the end of days. COVID hit. It's going to be the end of days. When the North Korea situation happens, it's going to be the end of days. I'm still here. What happened? Now they're going to say it's going to be the end of days with that whole Iran, like the Iran situation. Same shit. Holocaust. I guarantee you that it was going to be the end of days with the Holocaust shit. I would have believed it then because that's when they were actually attacking the people that was in the same group as Jesus. I would agree with that one. But yeah, we're always talking about it's the end of days, but it never was the end of days. And then we always get scared over certain stuff, whatever. Now some conspiracy theory about how Jesus is going to come back. And the next thing you know, 20 years later, we're going to forget that we actually said this shit or whatever. And next thing you know, we're going to see some other pandemic that happened. And it says Jesus is going to come soon. So it's going to be a bunch of cycles going on and on to a point where we're just going to say, you know what? Let's just forget about the shit. Let's just live our fucking life. And if we die, we die. If we... It is what it is, man. Because I tell you this. Most of the people today, if y'all die right now, 90% chance y'all going to hell. Like, come on. Y'all acting like y'all just like made it up to heaven and all that. Like, it's an imaginary state. Like it is. I can tell it's imaginary because one of my friends got killed. Shout out to him. One of my friends got killed and all that. But they were saying rest in heaven, and like they had like the picture of him like in the sky with angel wings. But mind you, he was terrorizing the community. He was a horrible person. He was robbing people and all that. And like people saying rest in heaven, no, that dude is definitely in hell. I'm sorry to say this, family. I don't want to say it to them because they were all gangsters, but they were. That dude went straight down to hell, whatever. Like matter of fact, the devil didn't even wait until he got shot, whatever. He was like, "Hey, yo, you got 10 minutes, whatever. Like you got to come downstairs real quick, B. You already terrorized the community enough. You with me now." But yet, because the person died or whatever, we just want to have this fantasy that he went to heaven. Now, I'll tell you this: if heaven is that packed to a point where everybody's going to heaven, then what's the point of hell? Because we're not going to tell anybody rest in hell unless we really, really hate that person. So come on, man. That's why I said, what's the whole point, whatever? Like, all we're doing is contradicting our own logic. We're contradicting ourselves with every word that we say. So if y'all want to jump on or whatever and tell me why it's okay or why it's beneficial to worship the God of the Bible when all we're going to do is contradict ourselves, if the God of the Bible give us certain stuff that we think is the blessing, and the next thing you know, that blessing turned to a curse. Now that curse turned into what devil wanted to put into our life. That shit is weird. Y'all choose on who y'all want to get into your life, basically. Y'all choose who y'all decide who brought that person in your life. So if y'all want to talk about it, we can talk about it tomorrow. We can talk about it the next day. We can talk about it the next day. But I'm gonna keep talking about it. You know why? Because it's detrimental to the community, I believe. It's wild detrimental. And nobody want to understand it, whatever, because we all want to believe in the God. We all want to, and I understand we have to believe in something, right? But why not know something? Why not actually investigate? The problem with that religion is because we don't want to investigate. We don't want to know. We want to just stick to a belief or whatever and just be comfortable in that belief. We want to have faith, but most of the time, faith will betray us, right? So with that logic, we should understand that this can be a betrayal right here. Years of believing in the motherfucker. I'm sorry. Years in believing in the God that could betray you if it don't exist. Okay, so Miss Holland, I don't know. Miss Holland, do you want to jump on here? Because I don't even know what's the point in that Bible verse, honestly. I'm sorry. I don't know what's the point. So if you want to jump on, I mean, I can send you the link and you can jump on and you can explain it to me. You can say no to. I mean, I'm cool with it. But Bible verses is only proving my point. Like, if you have to go to the Bible to prove why you worship the Bible, and that's the worst logic ever. So if you do wanna come on and talk about it, let me know. Because that's the whole point. The point is, why are we worshiping the God of the Bible when, like, all we're gonna do is contradict ourselves? So you're talking about the Bible. So come do. But I do like that whole he did give us curiosity, because I can talk about how I believe the serpent gave you curiosity. The snake, or whatever you want to call him. I don't even know. I don't know what that motherfucker was in that tree. It was a nigga up in that tree. I mean, it is what it is. Wait, can you actually explain that though? Because I'm legit curious. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angel of heaven, but my Father only. What the, like? Come on, what does that even? What was the whole point of that? No disrespect to you, whatever, but I'm trying to figure out what that means. So yeah, again, I'm gonna ask this question 4 more times. I don't know. Why is it beneficial to worship the God of the Bible when all we're going to do? Listen, See, no, here's the thing. I am not gonna read that entire thing while I'm on my live. Why not just come on here? This is what I don't like. Why not just come on here? If we have a lot of stuff to say or whatever, why not just come on here and teach? I would love to learn. Because now you brought up 17 other Bible verses. And I'm saying the point is the Bible itself is contradictory. Like, so I'm saying, why would we go to the Bible and worship the Bible when we're going to contradict ourselves in the end? But you're going straight to the Bible verse. That's the whole point. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, it'll be better if you explain it. It'll be a lot better. Because you gave a bunch of Bible verses, man. And I think we need to for once get out of the Bible, whatever, and understand life or whatever. Because sometimes the Bible will kind of like throw you off a little bit. Because I remember I used to read. I was big on the Bible. I used to read the Bible. I used to go to church all the time, whatever. But the moment I felt somebody was going against what I believe, I used to force them back into the Bible. But that's all the information that I had. But these other people know the Bible and stuff outside of the Bible. But the problem with people today is they only know parts of the Bible that they want to believe in. They don't even know the whole Bible. They just want to focus on the things that they do like in the Bible and forget about all the killing and all the slavery and all the incest and the pedophilia that was going on in the Bible. They want to forget about all that. That's what I'm saying. I want to learn something new. I want to learn something that I can get out of. I already know these Bible verses. I just don't understand what's the whole point in proving that while I'm saying you need to get out of the Bible. It's talking about the truth or whatever. The truth is, God pretty much was big on slavery. He was a fan of slavery. He liked that shit. We could talk about it. We could talk about how he wanted to like beat people up or whatever, like beat the servants up and all that. We could talk about how like God was Jesus was a willing sacrifice, but he was screaming out, Eli, Eli, let us supplant me or whatever. Oh God, why have you forsaken me? So if he was a willing sacrifice, why is he saying, Eli, Eli, let us supplant? I'm sorry. Why is he saying, why have you forsaken me? What's the whole point? Why is he saying he's a willing sacrifice when he's begging for his life? We can say a bunch of stuff that's going on in the Bible or whatever, but we have to understand. I'm trying to get you out of the Bible. I'm trying to get you to like open up to who you are. We go straight into the Bible, whatever, to argue something that I'm trying to. I don't know, man. I don't know. So if anybody want to come on, like I said, Miss Holland, I would love for you to come on because you have a bunch of Bible verses down there. I would love for you to teach me something. And please don't read no Bible verses. Just teach me something outside of that book. That's the point. The point is y'all have to study yourselves too. Y'all have to study outside. The problem with a lot of people today is they think they're more intelligent than the person that actually studied it. I legit studied it inside and out. I even traveled to places, whatever, that has something to do with the Bible. The problem is I know how to get outside of the Bible to understand life. When y'all talk about life, y'all want to stay inside the Bible. That's the problem with people. The problem with people like is when y'all do something good, when y'all have something good going on. This is my point. Y'all are thanking God. But once that good turned bad, y'all say it's the devil or it's free will. It's a contradiction. Like y'all living yourselves in the contradiction. That's the whole point that I'm saying. The point is, it's not have nothing to do with Bible verses. It have everything to do with your choice and who y'all believe is coming into your life. Y'all thank God for one thing, but when that thing turned bad, y'all are blaming the devil for it. Or y'all saying it's karma, or y'all saying it's free will. The moment that thing that God bless you with turned bad, you blame other stuff. You don't want to blame God anymore. Y'all never want to blame the one person, whatever, that y'all thank when that motherfucker came into your life. And y'all know that happened. Y'all know y'all had an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend or whatever that came into your life, and y'all thank God y'all went to church, and that dude the pastor prophesied on that partner that you had and all that, saying this is God's work. The next thing you know, that motherfucker cheated, that motherfucker was abusive, that motherfucker was doing the craziest stuff, and now you're gonna say that it wasn't God, it was your own free will. It was the devil doing that. The devil brought them there. Karma brought them there. But yeah, y'all prophesied of that motherfucker when he came giving out flowers and all that, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it have nothing to do with like actual Bible verses. I'm trying to get y'all outside of the Bible, and I'm trying to understand what is the benefits of worshiping this person. People think I didn't read the Bible. People don't think I didn't go to church like from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. My sisters know who I was. My sisters knew I was like riding the bus all the way up to New York, back and forth and all that, just to go sit in church for like 17 hours. No, mind you, my uncle's church, I had to stand up for 17 hours. I was big on church to the point where I started traveling to places. I traveled to Ghana, I traveled to Egypt and all that. I started studying certain stuff like that, basically. I wanted to be the person that God wanted me to be, basically. And then I started seeing a bunch of contradictions in my own life. The problem with y'all is y'all don't even want to see your own contradictions. Y'all want to just live life or whatever and just blame the world for the bad stuff, but thank God for the good stuff. Y'all gotta understand, y'all not the smart, like y'all are not dealing with somebody that's ignorant of the Bible. I know the Bible, but I understand life now. And the life is not just the Bible. And matter of fact, let's think about this. This might sound crazy to y'all, but most of the motherfuckers that recite the Bible, I'm not talking about you, Miss Holland, because I don't know exactly what's going on with you. Most of the people that usually just recite the Bible, they're usually psychopaths, sociopaths, and just crazy motherfuckers. Most of the people that I've dealt with, I'm gonna be real, they were either crazy or they were just lost in life. Most of them. They had psychopathic tendencies. So if we're gonna go straight into the Bible and all that, that means no disrespect. That means you have a cult-like mindset. You're stagnated. Your brain is. Let me just say this. Oh God, the computer is based off of a human brain. The moment like you go into the computer and you start downloading certain stuff that don't belong in the computer, there's going to be viruses popping up. There's going to be a bunch of pop-ups and might crash and all that. So you know your brain is based off of the same thing. So whenever like somebody says something that's total opposite of what you believe in or your faith and all that, your brain will go into a combustion too. Like you'll go through a certain pop-up and crash too and all that, to a point where you want to block certain stuff that people want to like inform you about, because you're so stuck in this mindset of one thing, basically. So whenever somebody do talk about something that's total opposite of what you believe in and what your faith is, you're going to go back into what you believe in and what your faith is, just to stop yourself, whatever, from crashing. I'll tell you this: when I got out of Christianity, when I got out of believing in God, like, and mind you, I'm agnostic. I'm not saying I don't believe in God or whatever. I believe there's something out there. But I understand that what I used to believe in was blocking me living my life, basically. It took me a while to understand how not to fight against people that was telling me other stuff. I didn't want to look into psychology because it went against what I believed in. I thought it was evil. I thought it was witchcraft and all that. So I understand when y'all do want to like go back into the Bible and all that. I understand that, because like I said, I've been in that cult-like mindset too. It is what it is. But the moment I got out, that's the moment I became free. I understood who I was. I started asking myself questions. How can I get better? How can I get stronger? How can my body like get more fit, I guess? How can I get out of depression? I'm not going to wait for God to get me out of depression. I already know what I got to do. People are waiting for God or whatever, and it's deteriorating their brain and their bodies. Stop waiting for somebody that's outside of you, whatever. If God is if you're like the image of God or whatever, why are you fucking your body up? That means you don't believe in God or whatever, because you're not even taking care of your fucking self. Talking about we saying grace or whatever while eating pork chops. Thank you, God, for giving me the stuff that you told us to condemn not to eat. Like y'all are legit contradicting everything that God is telling you in the first place. I guarantee you most of y'all eat pork chops and shit. I guarantee you most of y'all eat like goddamn cheeseburgers and all that. I guarantee you that. But yeah, y'all want to say grace, whatever, and thank God for some damn shrimp. Lobster? Come on. Y'all having fun thanking God for certain stuff that God didn't want you to eat. Y'all are proud of that. Y'all thanking God for a bunch of stupid stuff. My taxes came in. I gotta thank God or whatever. God didn't tell you God didn't bring them taxes on. Come on, man. The IRS did. Stop with all that dumb shit. The government gave you that shit. The same group of motherfuckers that actually told, like the same group of motherfuckers that y'all think is made by the devil is giving you that shit. But as soon as the devil give you something, which is the government, y'all thank God for it. That shit is so contradictory. It's fucking crazy. I'm not a Muslim or none of that. I'm agnostic. I'm agnostic. I'm not a Muslim. I don't want to follow a religion, basically. I don't want to follow none of that. I just want to understand if God is going to, if God is going to bring something to your life or whatever, and then that something into your life turned bad and you blame the devil for it, what's the point in thanking God for it in the first place? I'm not gonna chuck myself. I'm not gonna give myself any type of title of any type of religion. And people talking about Bible verses, but like I said, if y'all want to join on, y'all can join on. But my point is, what's the point in worshiping the God of the Bible when y'all are just going to chuck it to the devil after it turns sour? Y'all going to chuck it to karma after it turns sour. And if y'all want to think about it, motherfucker, I'm more like, I worship God more than most of y'all. You know why? Because I went to Coptic Cairo or whatever and went to so-called Jesus' house or whatever. I studied Reiki and all that, which Jesus actually studied Reiki. I became a vegan or whatever. I took care of my body and all that. Y'all still eating pork chops. Y'all still sitting there fucking like masturbating to Pornhub and all that. Come on, man. I'm saying, like, I'm trying to figure out how I can become God-like. And y'all just figuring out when is God coming back. That shit is crazy. And then y'all responses is Bible verses. Come on, man. That wasn't even the whole point. But all I'm saying is if y'all believe in God, if y'all believe in Jesus, I'm an open book. I can listen to you. I can understand what y'all are saying. I'm going to ask y'all questions, but don't be offended with the questions. And don't just bring up a damn Bible verse like that's going to prove a point. That's not going to prove a fucking point because I'm telling y'all to get the fuck out the Bible. I know the Bible already. It is what it is. Tell me something else. Show me something. Got another talk about Matthew 106. Come on, man. No disrespect to you. No disrespect to Miss Holland. I don't know. No disrespect to you at all. But if you want to join and tell me certain stuff outside of the Bible of reasons why we should worship the God of the Bible, then that would be perfect. That would be perfect. Because we're reciting the King James Bible. If you really want to talk about it, I can talk about what King James was. He was a demon worshiper. You know what I mean? I even had the fucking book of demonology, like King James demonology or whatever. How to summon demons. The thing is, I have enough books to understand that the Bible is not the only book to read. That's the whole point. There's more. That's the whole point. The point is there's more than one God. That's what I was saying. So when I went to Japan or whatever, they were studying a whole different God. So it takes me to go out the country just to serve a totally different God. That's all it takes, just to go to another country. That shows how big God is. God is a so that was the whole point. Said you're late to the conversation. Do you mind explaining your philosophy? Okay, so say if you're in a relationship, like you just get into a new relationship, whatever, the dude is giving you flowers, like just love bombing the hell out of you. And you're happy as all hell. And then you go to church with this guy. And the pastor is like, oh, this guy's straight from heaven. This guy, like, he's loving. This is God's work right here, whatever. Y'all belong together. And then 4 months later, he get jealous and smack the shit out you. Next thing you know, that love turned into bombing. Now he's bombing on your ass. He's fucking you up. So the guy that you love, like that was love bombing you in the beginning, when you chuck it to God, are you still going to chuck it to God after he turned into a demon? Once he gave up with the loving and he started becoming an abuser, are you going to thank that same God? Most people, they will say it's the devil now. Most people that they will say like it was free will. It was their fault. They're not going to thank God anymore once that good turned bad. So that's what I'm saying. If it takes one mess up, if it takes one fly out the country to believe in another God, if it takes one book to believe in another God, if it takes one abusive relationship to believe that it's something else, what's the whole point in believing in the God of the Bible? If it's just one blip to go somewhere else. I remember, okay, so another thing is I remember God was testing people too. God was testing people. So how do we know what's the difference between God testing somebody and the devil testing somebody? How can we tell the difference? We don't even know. Like, so it comes to the point where it's all in our belief. Like we believe, like we want to believe something or whatever is good. Until it turned bad or whatever, that's where we want to think is the devil and all that. Nothing's wrong with believing it. This is just a topic. That's what I'm saying. Like people talk about stupid stuff now. I don't want to talk about random stupid stuff. I want to have controversial topics, like interesting topics. And this is stuff that I actually used to believe in. So I know about the Bible. I know about God. I know about Jesus and all that. I know about church. I know about all this stuff or whatever. I was very passionate. This used to be my fucking life. I was ordained to be a minister at one point. So I know this type of stuff. As long as y'all not talking about no Bible verses, man, because that's just like that shows that you're in a fucking cult. If I'm telling you to get out the Bible when you start talking about the Bible, that means your mind is trapped. It's over. Because I mean, when I used to believe in God or whatever, I try to step outside the Bible because maybe there's certain stuff that I can learn outside the Bible. Because the stuff that's inside the Bible I can barely do too. I couldn't walk on water or whatever and part the Red Sea or whatever. I'm not going to sleep with a 13-year-old. That's what they were doing in the Bible. I'm not going to have any slaves or whatever. That's what they were doing in the Bible. God killed 2.5 billion people. I'm not going to do that shit. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I stepped out of the Bible. Now I'm trying to ask questions within. Y'all trying to get me back into the Bible or whatever. I'm trying to tell you, hey, look, maybe there's something else that y'all can teach me. If y'all just know about the Bible and focus on the Bible, no disrespect, but maybe y'all are just stupid. Maybe that's the only book y'all read besides Dr. Seuss' Green Eggs and Ham and all that. Y'all want to get back to that? Like if y'all want to teach me something new, don't teach me something that I already know.